So I've decided to do a quick nostalgia analysis video on one of my favorite shows as a kid back in 2003-2004, Code Lyoko, which was a French original animation cartoon. I would even say anime because it was one of the first shows where I considered it an anime that wasn't particularly based in Japan. This was something made out of France. So I'm going to cut this video into a couple of different parts, different segments to kind of give you an idea of where my head is at after watching the show as a kid and rewatching the episodes now. I just got done with episode 4, so this is just a quick recap on my childhood viewing up till now. And first off, I'm going to give you the introductory dialogue for the show so that you're not confused as to where to start. So, Lyoko is a French animated television series created by Thomas Romain and Tania Palumbo and produced by the Moonscoop Group. The series centers on a group of teenagers who travel to the virtual world of Lyoko to battle against a malignant artificial intelligence known as Xana, who threatens Earth. The scenes in the real world are presented in 2D hand-drawn animation, while the scenes in Lyoko are presented in CGI animation. The series began its first run with 95 episodes on September 3rd, 2003 on France's France 3 and ended its run on 10th of November 2007. It started airing in the United States on 19th of April 2004 on Cartoon Network. The show later spawned a live-action CGI series called Code Lyoko Evolution, which began at the end of 2012. It kept the 3D computer animation style while it focused on Lyoko, the digital C in the cortex, while live action for the real world. Between 2004 and 2007, Code Lyoko aired every day on Cartoon Network in the Mikuzi Promigaming block at 5:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, sometimes showing 2 episodes consecutively in the cases of season finales. On 31st of May 2011, the Moonscoop Group announced on its Facebook page that the show would return for a 5th season. This was partially due to a large dedicated fan base, myself included. The season consists of 26 episodes, as well as containing a mixture of live action and CGI. The show was then renamed Code Lyoko Evolution and premiered on December 19, 2012. It concluded in 2013 but has no proper ending, as it ended on a cliffhanger. I hope that wasn't too much of a jumble there. I tried to get the details out of the way first so that I could give you guys the backstory as to how it was created. There's also a part where I'm going to read to you the origins of the show. First, I want to recap on when I started watching it in 2004. I was probably 11 or 10 and I was hooked on it. I just loved the series. The fact that the 2D animation and the CGI were always contrasts of different mediums of the art, and it's hard to say now because there's so much of it looking back on it where I would always say that it is considered an anime to me, although to some other people it might not be considered a complete anime by comparison. I even feel that in some ways this is probably one of the first animes that doesn't need to be highlighted by a Japanese audience to gain recognition. And I'm gonna get to my point soon, because this is part of like why I feel like this is sort of an interesting question to ask about the show. The idea that the kids in the series go into the tower and they have to stop Xana from basically taking over the planet, the real world, because Xana infects the computer world and the real world. And every time they defeat Xana, they rewind back time and everything goes back to normal. And the question I pose to this is, if they're always going back in time as kids, are they ever going to consider wanting to grow up? Are they ever going to consider wanting to move on? So we never really get that question in the show. I don't really remember the last episode climax part of it, because that to me was kind of a confusing ending. And again, like I said in the beginning, the background section of this video, it was left on a cliffhanger, wasn't fully resolved. But again, I pose that question to you. Will they ever grow up, or do they want to grow up? Is that what the show intended? Does this have a type of Peter Pan mythos to it, where this idea that the young kid is always excited to save the world and protect his friends and to live in this escapist life despite going to a boarding school and despite having to deal with teachers and doing homework and all this stuff? So again, I don't want to make it sound as if there's this whole metaphysical aspect to it, because I loved the show as a kid, and I want to continue to enjoy that show as it is and from my viewing experience in the past till now. Origins. Code Lyoko originates from the film short Les Enfants font leur cinéma the children make their movies. Directed by Thomas Romain and produced by a group of students from Parisian visual arts school, Gobelin School of the Image. Romain worked with Tania Palumbo, Dionysius Brunet and Jeremy Cottret to create the film, which was screened at the 2000 Annecy International Animated Film Festival. French animation company Anti-Films offered Romain and Palumbo a contract as a result of the film. This led to the development of the pilot, Garage Kids. Garage Kids was first released in 2001. The project was created by Palumbo, Romain, and Carlo De Platini and developed by Anne Degollard. Its producers were Eric Garnet, Nicolas Atlin, Bene De Sabatino, and Christophe De Sabatino. The project was produced by Anti-Films. Similar to its succeeding show, Code Lyoko, Garage Kids was originally intended to be a 26-episode miniseries detailing the lives of 4 French boarding school students who discover the secrets of the virtual world Xanadu, created by a research group headed by a character known as the Professor. The pilot featured both traditional animation and CGI. Garage Kids evolved into Code Lyoko, which began broadcast in 2003, with the virtual world renamed to Lyoko. Romain, however, left the show to work on the Japanese anime series Open Star Racers. The factory and boarding school are based on real locations in France. The factory was based on a Renault production plant at Boulogne-Billancourt, which has since been demolished. The school, Cadec Academy, is based on Lycée La Canal in Sceaux. Well guys, that was my Code Lyoko nostalgia analysis video. Hope it wasn't too boring. Peace out.